Hey, good morning, Underground. Hope you guys are staying safe and healthy. And this morning, I real quickly want to talk about hope as a product of some of Jesus' characteristics. And those two characteristics that I want to point sort of all of our attention to is Jesus' ability to be prayerful and patient. And so, when I think of Jesus being prayerful, I think about all the times, and we're going to list out some scriptures for you. And I want you guys to go and read it and see for yourself where Jesus just took the time to go out on his own and pray, and even pray honestly. I think about the time when Jesus is just being honest with God and saying, God, take this cup. Just because Jesus knew exactly what was going to happen and what he was called to do. And I want to be careful here because I don't want to make Jesus, make it out to sound that Jesus is sort of this goal-oriented person just to get the job done. No, in fact, I think he leads by compassion and with compassion. And so just knowing that he was going to do this for all the people of the world. John 3:16, right? God gave his one and only Son so that we can have everlasting life. And so I paraphrase that, by the way. And then I think of Jesus just being patient. I mean, think about the people he was surrounded by, his disciples, and sometimes not the easiest people to be patient with, right? And so, and then just knowing the process over the years in Jesus' ministry, and just knowing that Jesus knew exactly what he was going to do, and that is die on the cross and then rise again from the grave, but having to be patient with that, not just jump to the end, right? And I think those two characteristics really lead to hope, and can be an example of how we can have hope today. I once heard a pastor say, and I believe it was Scott Rachels from Newport Mesa Church at the time when he was pastoring there. I heard him say, hope is anticipating God to do great things. This anticipation that something's going to happen. Oftentimes, I say, I hope to do this. I hope to do that. I hope to be there. I hope to be this person. I hope to accomplish this. And then that is something to look forward to, something to anticipate. And if there's something that we can look forward to, it's that Jesus is our hope. While Jesus knew exactly what he had to do, I don't know that he was so hopeful in the sense that he was looking forward to dying on the cross and rising again from the grave. I think just reading what I know from scriptures, that he was hopeful because of what it was gonna turn out to be. And Jesus had this deep compassion, not just sympathy like we talked about last week, but this call to action to do something and be there for someone, that Jesus was there for us and he died on the cross so that we can have everlasting life. And that he led by that compassion. Think of the movie Independence Day, because that's what I think of. There's this character in the movie, and I'm going to, spoiler alert here, but there's this character in the movie who's hopeless. And frankly, quite frankly, he's a drunk in the movie. And at the end of this unlikely hero sacrifices himself to save the rest of the world. And I'm not saying that character, Jesus is that character, or that character is an embodiment of Jesus. Though in some ways, Jesus was sort of an unlikely person to be the Messiah. The difference between that character and Jesus is that Jesus died on the cross and died, but he rose again from the grave. And I think that nowhere else in history can we say that there is a God or higher power that rises again from the grave and gives us that hope to look forward to, because Jesus is still alive. He's still here. And so I take that with me. I take that thought, the truth that Jesus is still alive and he's not this person separate from me. He's in heaven or in the sky, but that he's still here with me even as I speak to you now, even as you watch from wherever you are, that Jesus is right here with me. He's right there with you. And that gives me hope. In some weird way, it gives me hope. If there's anything practical to take away from this, it's to be prayerful. The characteristic that Jesus had and has to just speak with God, to talk with God, and most of all to make the space. Make the space, that's super important, to have time with God. Secondly, it's to be patient. I don't think there's any right way to practice patience but just to be in the middle of it. There's always somebody out there that annoys us or that irritates us. And so I pray that you're reminded to be patient. And most of all, to be open to it. So while there's not sort of a right way to practice patience, my suggestion is to be open to it. So when you think of it, be open to being patient. I think those two characteristics really lead to hope. And by definition, as I use it here in this video and in this talk, is to anticipate God to do great things. If we can anticipate wanting to do something, like I hope to go to the beach, I hope the world to come back to normal. I hope to be able to go back to Disneyland when it opens. I hope Disneyland opens again. Anticipate in that same way for God to do something great in your life. And in the meantime, being open to being patient and making space to be prayerful.